know, in Texas, racing is kind of a big deal. I mean, you can't go in any town and there not be a racetrack close by, you know. It's just something to do, something to have fun with. It's a redneck thing, I guess is what you would say. You know, it's all in the South. So I guess it's kind of culture, kind of. You know, a lot of people see NASCAR on TV, and this is like the step below it, kind of. So they're like, okay, so we'll just go watch this. We can't go watch NASCAR.
I think this is actually a lot of, sometimes I like to say it's a lot of pin-up aggression. I mean, people come out, you sit in traffic all week, and I mean, you're constantly driving. So you come out to the racetrack, and there's essentially out here no rules. I mean, you're driving, you got guys running into each other, and I mean, you're just out here. They get to see people do the things that they wish they could do during the week while you're driving down the highway. I think that's a huge part of it.
Well, I can't do it on the road, so when I get out here, you just get behind the wheel and you just want to go so fast. And sometimes it sucks because you're behind a slow car and you just want to ram it and go as fast as you can. But I mean, being behind a race car, it's not a feeling like that. You get road rage, but here it's just when you're in control and you can make your moves, there's not really a feeling like that. It's a good feeling, it's nice.
I love it when you bring new people out to the track. They've never seen it before, like you guys. You'll be blown away later on tonight when you see this. It's just, you know, so many of them are like, oh, this is so awesome. How come I've never seen this before? You know, it's just, and these guys that run these races, you know, none of them are professionals. We all have other jobs. We just do this on the weekends, you know, work on the cars at night during the week, get them ready, and come racing on Saturday night. Just for the love of it, yeah. You don't make any money doing this.
You know, when you're driving a race car on the track, it is, you're driving on the very edge all the time. It's nothing like driving down the freeway. It's like driving down the freeway bumper to bumper, 4 lanes wide at 120 miles an hour. You can imagine how you would be kind of stressed out. Well, that's the stress level you have here.
I'm 43 years old, and for 41 years I've been at a racetrack. My dad and I have done this forever. He took me to the track, I guess I was probably about a year and a half old. Obviously I don't remember what happened, but he raced. He went on to race for years, and then he turned it over to me. I've raced for probably 12, 15 years. And then I got in on the announcing side of it, and it was when I was ready to step aside from racing. So now I do the commentating, and I've found new life in one of these little cars. So, you know, I can't get away from it, it seems like. You know, even after years and years of doing this, the whole build up, getting ready to go get in the car, it's still a little nerve-wracking. You still feel the nerves. Once you get in there and kind of cinch yourself in, because you're so tightly affixed to the seat, you put all the safety harnesses on and the devices, I mean, the nervousness goes away. I mean, it's kind of like the mother's womb thing. You get in there, it just grabs you in there, you block everything else out, and you go racing. It's awesome. You know, it's a huge adrenaline rush. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's most of us that do this, I mean, we're pretty ego-driven. I mean, you know, you really get a lot out of this. You're out here wheeling one of these things around at 100 miles an hour, you know, it's quite the rush. But honestly, a lot of it for me is this. I mean, talking about the sport, keeping the sport alive, dealing with the fans. I mean, I just love dealing with all of our race fans here. We got the greatest race fans in the United States right here in Texas. And that's a huge part of it. That's why I love the crowd part, the announcing part, because I get to talk to those guys. I mean, they know me, we sit there, we have a conversation. When I'm working in the stands doing announcing, I'm just having a conversation with about 3,000 people. That's what it is to me. A lot of people joke around that you get it in your blood and you just can't get away from it. And it's true. It's true. I mean, it doesn't matter how mad you get at the race officials, another competitor, something bad happens here. I've quit so many times, but I'm here the next race. So it's really something, it just gets ingrained in you, and you just don't know anything different.
We have quite a bit of power. They run a 1,000cc fuel-injected motorcycle engine. They're very fun to drive, and they're very difficult because they're so quick to handle, so quick to steer, such a short wheelbase. These cars you can work on yourself. They're very easy to handle. So most guys here don't have any pit crew as such. It's just a one-man show. I'm not into football, basketball, anything else. It's racing, racing. That's all I do. Well, I started out way back in Iowa, actually, in 1964. That was a very new thing at that time in my hometown, to have local racing as such. And the first car we had, me and a couple other guys, was such a piece of junk. It was right out of the junkyard. Nobody knew anything about racing, anything about doing anything. It was a comedy, I guess you would say. When I saw these, I thought, no, I think I can do that yet. So I thought I'd do it for maybe 5 years. Well, now I'm on my third 5-year plan. So.
Well, I could tell you the wrecks draw people here. That's how I started, because I actually live in Corpus, but my dad races too. So he got started we just went out and we saw all these cars wrecking, and it was fun. And so we started going out, and he got his car, and then it was more like something to do, like a hobby, you know, just something to do on the weekends, something fun, speed. I've been racing for 6 years. This is my first year in this car. My other car was just get in and drive and go. And if you wreck it, that's okay. This one, you have to, you know, go with everyone and make sure everything's right, because if one thing is off, the whole car is off. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do it. Me and my dad work on it a lot. So it's kind of a family thing. He races in the same class as I do. So it's kind of, okay, let me keep up with dad, or, oh, he's behind me, I'm in front of him, you know, all that stuff, and work on it together. And it's kind of a family bonding experience kind of thing. I say if you like more speed and working on it and more hands, this class is more fun. But if you don't really like working on it all the time, you just want something just take out of your garage and go, then the Grand Sox is fun. But this is a lot more, you get into it, you get more personal with it because you work on it all the time. It's constantly something to do, you're tinkering, you're changing this, that, what works, what don't work. It's a lot of tinkering in this class. What gets me going is keep saying, well, I had this time this week, I want to beat that time next week, and then I want to beat the time after that, and then just keep, you know, getting better and better. And that's what keeps me in this class, is I just want to keep improving myself instead of, you know, everyone saying, oh, she can't do it because she's a girl. You know, the typical. So I just want to prove everyone wrong and improve myself every week and show everyone I can do it just as well, you know, as everyone else can. So that's what keeps me in it.
Our dad's been doing it forever, and we worked on his cars, and now he finally got us mini stock, so now we're finally racing. We've been coming out to the track since we were 10 and changing tires and stuff when we were in high school, and just working on the cars when we were little. And now we're just itching for cars. Buy us a race car, buy us a race car, and then he finally did. So our uncle works in the car, and my mom's out here too. So, I mean, not a lot of families get to see each other every weekend, but we're out here doing this, and it's a real family thing. It's the mini stock class, so it's the beginner class out here, and people just, you know, take old Saturns and compact cars, and you can just bring it out as is, gut it, and pretty much the only thing you change on it is tire pressures and a little bit of tire camber and stuff, but everything else is stock. So it's fun. It's not really a whole lot of changing, but they can get pretty quick out here. The whole race was kind of crazy, and my sister was in front of me most of the race, so it kind of sucked. I didn't want to see her go to the back, but I ended up finishing second, and that's the best I've done out here, so it was really good. If I can't beat her, I want her to win, but I would rather beat her. So it's not really sister rivalry. I want to see her do good. It sucked to see her go to the back. I want to see her take out as many people as I can take out. So, and a lot of people that bring out here are like real into the fast noise and seeing cars get banged up and stuff. But I mean, that is exciting, working on it and just trying every little thing to make it faster, especially on Dad's car when you can change pressures and springs and shocks and just seeing it get faster and faster and faster. But I mean, just being out here with my family, that's the best thing. And I think a lot of these people, they bring their families out too, and their kids get to see the little kids come out here and race too. So their kids get into it, and that becomes another family out here. So I think it draws a lot of those people.
My name's Logan Beard, and I race a NASCAR Pro Modified. It's an open wheel race car. The normal is the late model right next to us there. We have an unlimited motor rule, basically. We're allowed to run as much power as we want. The only thing that limits us is the 8-inch tire. So you really have to balance the horsepower to the tire so you don't spin the tires down the straightaway. They call it a 604 GM crate motor, but it puts out around 550 horsepower stock, and then you're allowed to do a little bit of modifications, not much. It's supposed to be a spec engine. I've been racing for 10 years now, since I was 8 years old. My dad was actually a crew member out here for a buddy of his, and I don't know, I just fell in love with it, and then he told me if I kept my grades up in the 3rd grade, he'd buy me a go-kart, and I was able to hold up the end of my deal, and he held up his. Motorsports has always been kind of big in Texas, but we never really had much of a tracks down here. We've had short tracks. The F1 track has really opened it up for us and is bringing a lot of attention to us. On this track, it's a 3/8 mile track. We're probably doing around 100 down the straightaway. And there's a track in San Antonio, and you're doing around 120 on that one. It's a half mile. We ran the road course for a long time, but I decided I wanted to do oval, and that's kind of what I want to pursue. So I didn't really take as much interest to the road course as I did the roundy-round stuff. The racing's different. You can get up, you know, it's really clean, and a lot of drivers have respect for each other, but you can beat and bang a little bit. And with the open wheel stuff, like Indy or F1, you know, you touch and the front wing comes off the car. I love winning. I wish I'd get to do it more, but we've kind of had some problems here lately that we're working out, and I think we have a shot at it tonight.
NASCAR Pro Truck, we run on the 108 metric frame. It's pretty much stock components. Rear end, we can upgrade on the rear end. We run a 602 crate motor. My dad used to drive in the late 70s. My godfather used to drive in the 80s. He started up again around 2000, so just being around it again, once we got out of high school, I knew I wanted to jump in one of these. We do a regular full-time job, 50, 60 hours, and then come out here and do the fun stuff. Once the lights go out on the track and you get ready to go green, that makes it all worth it right there. It just kind of don't even matter where you finish or where you start. It's during the race. That's what it's all about. It's the most fun you can have with your clothes on.